Hi guys, it's Someone Now. How's everyone doing? Good. I hope the time has come. We have two new Zoologist fragrances coming in 11 days time, 15th of March. They are releasing two together, Dodo and Chameleon. They're calling it A Tale of Two Islands, Madagascar and Mauritius, which are the islands that these animals inhabit and inhabited, because obviously the dodo is extinct. And I wanted to review Dodo first because I personally feel that this one's the more interesting of the two, but Chameleon review coming soon. First of all, thank you Victor for sending me it. I'm always privileged to be able to smell these before they get released, and for my opinions it's always much fun for me, so yay, thank you to you. So this fragrance is not out yet, it's coming out soon. The perfumer behind it is Joseph DeLapp. I think it's pretty cool. They're calling this fragrance a peculiar fougere. So just a tiny little bit of information. What is a fougere, you may ask? Some people that are watching this might not even know. A fougere is a style of fragrance that was first released or discovered or created in 1882 by the House of Houbigant. It normally leans towards the more masculine side of things and features mossy green notes as well as usually lavender typically, and sometimes something a little bit sweet like coumarin, like curing hay, tonka sometimes also as well. But of course zoologists are going to come along and flip that on its head and make it something else. Fougere means fern. It doesn't mean that there is fern in the fragrance, however Dodo does have a fern note in it. It just means a fern-like fragrance. So let's read the quick story and then I'll give you the notes and then I'll give you my opinion, because I have tested this multiple times now. The sun sparkled across rippling waves, its morning dance upon the Indian Ocean, rousing the dodos from their carefree slumber. Stumbling drunkenly from their nests, the birds waddled through the sea of luscious ferns that carpeted the forest floor to feast on fat, ripe berries. For generations, the island paradise of Mauritius nurtured the dodos, its predator-free and bountiful shores lulling them into a state of such complacency that even their wings grew idle, and flight was lost even to memory. Ultimately, their evolution would betray them cruelly, but while it lasted, the dodos enjoyed an existence marked by ease and comfort. I love that zoologists are doing extinct animals. I think it's really fun. Obviously, these fragrances follow T-Rex, which was a monster, and this is a real change of pace. So let me tell you the notes. Top notes are fern, lime, lychee and raspberry. I'm guessing the raspberry represents the berries that they would have been eating. The heart notes are ambergris, fir balsam, geranium and rose. And the base notes are amber, feathery musk, oak moss, patchouli and sandalwood. So, what does it smell like? So it's been drying on this hand for about 5 hours now, and this is probably the 5th or 6th time I've worn it. So I'm going to spray it fresh. I love the imagery of this one. He's kind of like a musketeer of sorts, the dodo. Sorry, just had to put it down there. So the opening of this is quite bizarre and cool. It's first and foremost to me tropical, and the main thing that sticks out of the note list is lychee. I can really feel that one in here. It's a tropical, almost tart and a little bit sweet, fruity thing. If you've ever eaten one, they're delicious, I think, even though they feel like eyeballs. But it's really nice. That's the main thing here. There's definitely green, so it's like a green, lush, tropical smell. And they are calling this a peculiar fougere. What makes this peculiar, in my opinion, and to my nose, are two things. I can feel a note in here which is the fir balsam, and it's giving the fragrance in the background somewhere something that feels a little bit like scorched tree sap. And it's making the fragrance a little bit dirty behind. Even though you have this beautiful, fruity, tropical, lush green opening, there is something in the back that's just a little bit ugly. And that's what I come to expect from Zoologist. Even if they have a pretty fragrance, there's always something of an edge to them. And I can also feel something that feels like a dark musk. This isn't a clean, white, linen, laundry type musk. It's something of a dark nature that's also giving it just that slightly weird edge, and I appreciate it for that, for sure. The greenery is one that I've never smelled before, which is great. Thank you for surprising me once again, Zoologist. Joseph, you did a great job. I like that even though it's labelled as a fougere, it definitely doesn't feel either masculine or feminine to me. There's no lavender present, which is usually the reason things sometimes smell masculine, especially in fougeres. It's more of a approachable, fruity type thing that definitely feels more like a jungle greenery than, say, an English gentleman foresty, mossy type greenery at first. Something else to note is that there is a slight marine element to this. There's ambergris here, which is giving it just the smallest touch of something salty and I guess marine-like, but it's not as obvious as in Chameleon, but I'll talk about Chameleon in a different video. But at first it's great, it projects quite well. I wouldn't say it's anywhere near the monstrosity that was T-Rex, but then I don't think anything is going to be in terms of anything ever, because that one was one of the most diffusive fragrances I've ever smelled in my life. But it's manageable, it's nice, it's not too overpowering. I like that Zoologist's line has some that are just crazy strong and then others that are a lot more delicate. This one I think sits somewhere in the middle if you've smelled their whole line before, and it's surprising. I think I actually prefer this to Chameleon, and I thought that Chameleon was going to be my absolute favourite, or at least the favourite of these two. So the drier stages of this, what happens is everything gets softened a little bit. The lychee, the fruitiness of this backs off quite a bit, and everything becomes a little bit more blanketed. This is where you do start to feel what would be, I guess, a ferny-like feeling, something foresty, something green, but not on such a lush level. It's a bit drier here. It feels a slightly bit more animalic in this stage as well. And it was really dry here. In the mid stages, when you get to about 2 hours in, sorry, I was looking at the clock there, that's when the character starts to change. But when it's 5-6 hours in, it's really, really soft. It's almost a skin scent on me now, but it's still there. And it definitely feels more foresty, more marine, and a little bit more musky. What was dirty in it, like the fir balsam, that sort of brown, like I said, almost scorched tree sap, that's also disappeared. And it's nice, it's definitely woodier in the dry down, which would make sense because woods are normally in the base of fragrances, so that's what you get at the finish line of wearing a fragrance. I do much prefer the opening to the dry down. They're very, very different. It does completely transition from wet to dry. The opening is where it's got a lot more character and a lot more, oh, this feels like a Zoologist, it feels unusual, there is something peculiar about it. And the dry stage is a lot more familiar because it's a woody, slightly mossy thing. I don't really feel anything that would be fern at any stage. It's more to me like the idea of what a fern would smell like. It's, like I said, it's green in many other ways, not necessarily fern, but it's a jungly green. It's difficult to describe, but that's why I love reviewing Zoologist fragrances, because they are tricky sometimes. I don't get any rose, I don't get any geranium, I don't get anything like that. It's quite a short note list for a Zoologist, but it smells like a lot more to me. And Chameleon is the opposite, but I'll get onto that when I do my Chameleon review. Stay tuned. I get a medium longevity out of this. I would say it's probably 4 hours where you can really, really smell it, and then it stays on the skin for about another 4, but that's when it's really, really close to me. It's not a sillage monster or anything like that. Like I said, it sits in the middle of their range, so that's what I think about it for now. Anyway guys, I hope you liked this video. I'm Ouch110, trying to make the world smell better one video at a time. It's my new catchphrase, I'm trying it out. What do you think? I'm literally the cheesiest person alive. Don't judge. Anyway, I'll see you soon guys. Goodbye.